Alright. Okay, there we go. I think we're good now. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. I had to start the stream over because, again, I had to restart OBS because every time something happens, it only tries to stream to Twitch instead of YouTube. Anyways, looks like we're good now. What was I saying? Anyways, welcome to tonight's stream, guys. I'm your host, Colin. And Speed, I saw your message. Sorry about that, buddy. I'm just trying to... I have to do it twice. Sorry about that. Anyways, let's see. Again, tonight's stream is going to be very, very simple. Just me playing Stardew. And we're just going to have some fun discussing certain topics. So, of all the topics I've tried to gather tonight, one actually stood out to me for some reason. YouTube recommendation for some reason gave me the trailer or another teaser for Mass Effect 4. I believe they called it the N7 days, I believe. And when I saw that, I said, okay, great. We got a really nice franchise we can discuss tonight. So, about Mass Effect 4, right? As of right now, I'm still not 100% sure about it because of, I don't know, just the way that Mass Effect 3 ended still kind of rubs me off the wrong way. We're going to discuss it, of course, but I think I want to discuss maybe the, I want to discuss maybe like a spoiler-free discussion first. So that way, if those guys who might not be interested in ME4 or the Mass Effect franchise can give me I can give them a warning. Hey Sam, welcome back. Good to see you again. Last night, I'm sorry about last night. It must have been some headache trying to navigate me through the cold trenches of Lego Fortnite. And then afterward, we had to go through all that Discord thing with Wrecker, but we actually got it figured out. So instead of just talking, like yesterday, of course, his voice was coming from the controller, right? Well, we just basically just decided to just add each other on Discord. And again, shout out to Speed because he's the one who actually made me get a Discord account. So he came in handy once again. Shout out to you, Speed. Thanks again. And we are now good to go, and I can actually start chatting in real time with you guys, if you guys want me to, of course. So I can give you guys my Discord. Feel free to add me if you like, if you want to discuss. So it's all up to you. If not, feel free to lurk. Feel free to just chat with me on, through multi-chat, whatever you like. So Sam, as of today, I will probably be... Tonight's stream will be just a... my username? Yeah, here you go. One sec. Don't worry about it. You don't have to correct yourself all the time. I know what you're trying to type. Hey Speed, I already know your thoughts on BioWare stuff, but I do want to add that they essentially made it compulsory to people to play Andromeda if you want to understand the new Mass Effect game. No thanks. ME3 is the one thing, but Andromeda is a garbage pile written by a different team. Ah, I see. Yeah, don't worry, man. Everyone has their opinion, and in your defense, right, Speed, I never played Andromeda either because I've seen the first trailer, and when I first saw the Andromeda trailer, I still remember, even though I thought it was pretty neat, but the sour taste of Mass Effect 3 still lingered in my mouth. And that's when I don't know about hatred, but my feelings, my negative emotions towards, not Mass Effect, but EA itself, the company, right, really, really started to grow. I knew EA wasn't all that good, But after that, I just can't despising them. As of today, I still haven't bought anything from them. If it's an EA game, maybe I would check it out, but Madden, any of those other franchises, no. I didn't purchase anything from them just purely on principle. Friended me? Thanks, Sam. I'll add you to the Discord, and feel free to join my discussion. Or if you want to discuss with me in voice, I'd be happy to add you on. If you want to just sit back and relax and hear me talk about Speed. I thought I did. Well, I'm sorry. Let me correct that action right now. Fortnite is an UA game? EA? Really? Are you sure? I thought it was Epic. Well, granted, if it is, I mean, I'm not paying anything. I'm not gonna use my real money on V-Bucks. Again, just purely on principle, whether they're EA or not. Friend impending. Oh, okay. Well, that's the thing, Sam. I mean, nowadays it's kind of hard to avoid it, right? Is an EA Unreal Engine? That I'm not exactly sure. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right, Sam and Speed, I've added you both. Sorry about that. I don't check Discord too often. There we go. Now that's also Epic's property. They might have to use the game to make their games, but they don't own it. Yeah, basically, I know that Capcom is trying their best to lease out the RE engine, something like that. Worked? Thanks. Alright, back to the discussion. Again, Sam, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Mass Effect series, but it's a series that I really, really enjoyed before the rush development and all that stuff and all that ending kind of ruined it. So, again, without getting to too much of a spoiler territory, I didn't start out with Mass Effect 1 like a lot of other people. I actually started with Mass Effect 2. I was actually in college when I bought it. Unfortunately, it still lingered in my mind because I actually bought it for PC. But the issue is that my PC couldn't run it. Back then, I was still an idiot. Well, I'm still kind of stupid right now with all these, specs and stuff. But for some reason, I thought, oh, maybe I should just play it on my laptop, which was a Sony Vaio. Or maybe it had maybe 500 or 1 gigs of RAM. Even by today's standards, I mean, that is rough. And afterwards, of course, I got it for the Xbox 360 because it was a shooter. And I think it was only an Xbox exclusive at the time. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Open to you with Steam games? Really? Yeah, the thing is, I should have bought it on Steam, but I bought it like an amateur. I bought it through GameStop. So, they weren't going to let me refund it for a PC game, so that's why I couldn't get my money back. I think what kept me in that franchise in the beginning was the epic trailer. And I will admit, EA does know how to make really, really hype trailers, right? And from what I remember, the first trailers that I saw was basically if you play Mass Effect 2, you can choose different types of class to play. Vanguard, Soldier, Engineer, whatever. And I saw the gameplay, which was freaking awesome. It was a third-person hover-to-cover shooter with sci-fi powers, something like that. Now, for those of you who don't know, I was never, and I mean never, a sci-fi guy, nor am I the medieval fantasy thing. So something of those genre has to be really, really good for me to even get into. As in, they have to like hold my attention like immediately. So what kept my attention for Mass Effect was the gameplay was really cool and it's solid. But I have to say, I remember the epic music that they used. And I think the best way for people to get me personally to play their game is that they have some very awesome soundtrack. And I believe the soundtrack they played was called Suicide Mission, or the many variety of versions of that particular song. And boy, let me tell you, I play that song so much that to this day, it's still part of my workout music because it's just so epic. That does not include all the other epic soundtracks that Mass Effect has, like the Galaxy Map theme and all that stuff. It was just so epic. So I bought it just based on a whim. And then, of course, I did do some research on it, though. But it was really through IGN. Yeah, that's how old I was. I mean, back then, I still trusted IGN and GameSpot. But they gave it a 9.5. So, and when I watched their trailer, even though it was just a review trailer, right? The fact that they... whatchamacallit... even their review was awesome. Just using some of their soundtrack mixed with a little gameplay and then whatever mumbo jumbo IGN spews usually, it made me hype. It hyped me up so much that I bought that game on launch on PC without thinking about anything else. And then of course I couldn't play it because my PC was not good enough to play it. Goes to show you how clueless I was back then. But yeah, that was part of my my thing. So eventually, when I got my Xbox back from my home, because back then when I just got to college, I didn't bring my console because my parents wouldn't let me, obviously. The first thing I did was, go and purchase Mass Effect 2. So when I played it, I had no idea what I was into because it is Mass Effect 2, right? I didn't play the first one. And again, without spoiling anything, the whole story just sucked me in because even though it's a whole sci-fi universe, I'd say the main thing people loved about it, I know what I loved about it most, are basically its story, or rather its character-driven stories. Every character that you meet are unique, great voice acting, and I believe they had a lot of a lot of celebrities from Hollywood. I know Carrie-Anne Moss. Yep, correct, Speed. I know Carrie-Anne Moss from Mass Effect 2. Say what you want. And I actually went back and played for the Legendary Edition, right? And even though I can say the gameplay has aged not as good, it's still very solid. I believe the writing itself has actually stood this test of time. It's still outstanding. I was afraid there might be something in there that might not work today, but no. I love it just as much when I first played it. I just found all these characters so fascinating. My favorite was from 2 was probably Mordin, and I thought it was going to be Thane at first, but Mordin was probably the one that I really was fascinated at. He's such a... If you ever played Mass Effect 2 or the stories on, you think that he's kind of maybe like a goofy, crazy scientist. But, oh boy, some of the things that he did, as being part of the special forces of his race, it kind of messed me up too. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe it. And yet sometimes, yeah, when he sings and stuff, it's so goofy. Yeah, Miranda. That too. Maybe that didn't age well, but sometimes people can be based. Speed, I mean, the physics didn't really hold up as well because it was a little bit funky at times. But that's what she is. Granted, she wouldn't be a great character if that's all her traits were, right, Speed? With her family situation, what she's brought up, and her struggles of understanding her own potential because she thinks everything is basically, well, what she is, right? She more or less is made. So it's obvious she doesn't have... She thinks that there's nothing that she really earned because of what she's made of. Oh, congrats, Sam. Awesome. Let me know if you want to play Lego Fortnite with us, Wrecker. And Speed, of course, you're invited too. You can just sit back and hear us out, goofing around. And I was super excited last night when I heard his voice. Because I was like, oh my god, you can actually talk and play games together. I mean, that's so awesome. Maybe that's just me because I'm an old fart and not getting with the time, but this reminds me of the first time when I heard someone through Xbox Live. I was like, oh my god, I'm talking to a stranger. So, yeah. Where was I on Mass Effect 4? Oh well, let's talk. We're gonna keep talking about Mass Effect 2 and then move on to 4, right? So yeah, I of course romanced Miranda, even though Tali was a very, very hard front runner, very, very hard. But I do kind of see Tali as a little, personally, of course, it was more of a... Yeah, no problem. Take your time, Sam. I saw her as more like a little sister. So, there's something like that. If I could go if Shepard could go to the other route, right, I probably would have romanced Garrus. Garrus, Rex, my left arm and my right arm. Just saying. It's too bad Rex isn't exactly playable in there. And then, spoiler alert, guys. That boy, when he was in 3, we went through the gauntlet of that little arcade DLC thing. It was me, Garrus, and Rex just wrecking havoc, just like old times. And I loved it. So, even though... Let's see, I think only Jacob was the only character that maybe people didn't really like. I didn't think he was bad in 2, although there wasn't too much... It's just that there were so much more interesting characters than him that he kind of got shafted. Everyone else, like Thane, Garrus, of course, with his revenge stories. Well, she is modeled after Yvonne Ostrovsky, right? Yeah. There's no perfect human beings, guys. I mean, it's like saying... I don't know if you guys know this series, The Witcher 3, right? The Witcher series. And one of the main characters, Yennefer... I mean, she's supposed to be literally perfect. Like, pseudo pretty. And when they tried to make a show out of it, I was like, well, how are they gonna make someone that pretty? There's just no way. And you can have your opinion on the actress. I didn't really watch the Witcher series. I saw season 1 and I thought it was just okay. Wasn't really my cup of tea. And then even though I think, you know, Henry Cavill did a good job, the writing just wasn't there. Because I actually read what is it? The Witcher series book. Only 2 of them, though. I believe it was... I mean, I still have it. I forgot. It's been so long, though. Shard of Ice. No, that was one of the stories. That was one of the stories. I forgot. Sword of Destiny. And that was the second one. But I can't remember what the first book was. But either way, I'm getting off topic. So, I can't say enough about Mass Effect 2. Enough. Because I still really, really love that series. And then, because I love that game so much, I actually went and bought Mass Effect 1. And in my opinion, I think in terms of story, I prefer Mass Effect 2. Mainly because Mass Effect 1 was a little bit more... was not as personal as the second one. Where the first one, you're gonna have... I mean, it's the first one, right? You gotta establish the setting, the plot, and whatever. So it's... I can't really blame it. But that doesn't mean that it was bad. I really enjoyed 1. In fact, going back and playing the the Legendary Edition, I actually prefer Mass Effect 1's combat system or gameplay over 2's, which is a little bit more linear. I really love all that customization that you did in Mass Effect 1, where they really stripped it away in 2 and of course 3 in more of a traditional third-person shooter. And that was kind of not really my thing. So for those guys who are wondering what kind of class I played, in 1 I played let's see, I played with all sorts of classes, but my favorite was always the Vanguard. Just because I like to get up and close in person with my enemies. And especially when I saw that trailer for the first time of a Vanguard just charging into an enemy and then blasting them with a shotgun. I thought that was probably one of the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. Guys, let me check my social or skills. Okay. Yeah. Alright. This game is pretty much done because I got this skill and all of my forged items are now iridium. So as you can see, guys, if you ever once you get this skill, you basically pick, depending how many pigs you get, you can pick up as easily like 20 or 30 of these truffles, and money is pretty much no longer an issue for you. There are other ways to earn it, namely the whatchamacallit. I don't need any of this. Namely the ancient fruits, right? And then you got to go through the wine stuff, but the truffle is just so much easier. You don't spend any stamina, and you're just picking it up as you go. You don't need to water them, and you can get a lot more depending on how many pigs you have. And again, that's what we're trying to do here, which is to try and get as many pigs as I can into this file before it breaks. So one more upgrade. I went back and played Mass Effect 1, right? And I enjoyed my time with it. And that was one of the things that, of course, if you played Mass Effect 2 before 1, then obviously you're going to be missing a couple of stories. You didn't know who Ashley was. You didn't really understand who Rex was. While Garrus was awesome, it felt like, I was like, I'm part... I mean, there's a reason for it, right? I don't need this. Because you already met them before. Same thing with Tali. And then, of course, you play Mass Effect 1. I went back to play Mass Effect 2 because they had the continuous file thing, which is you can carry from one gameplay to another. Yeah, you can say that again, Speed. I mean, don't worry, I romanced almost everyone I could in Mass Effect, because I played it like at least 3 to 4 times. There was obviously my main gameplay, what choices I made, and then the second one I played, and then I tried to romance the other ladies, Liara. But in terms of what I think who the main romance in this whole series for Shepard is, then I would say Liara is probably the one. I mean, there's a reason that Mass Effect 4 trailer, teaser, which if you will, shows her, right? It's no one else. I really wish it was Garrus, though. As for Mass Effect, so when Mass Effect 3 came out, after finishing up Mass Effect 1 and then afterwards Mass Effect 2, right? I was super hyped. I was like, great, awesome, this is a great franchise. I'm gonna be waiting for it for a long time. Unfortunately, my worry came pretty early because I think it was only after 2.5 years that EA pushed out Mass Effect 3. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's really quick. On one hand, I was excited, but that was my first sign of worry. When you have a game at that time being pushed out in 2 years, it was kind of a red flag for a series that was really about, like, you know, the characters and the writings and stuff. But I thought, well, maybe that's just me worrying too much. Because if they didn't really change the gameplay, then maybe, and they just focus on the story, then maybe, just maybe, it wouldn't be so bad. Maybe that's actually understandable. So they just want to finish this franchise, right? And not to mention, like, I also play... Mass Effect 2 was actually the first game that actually made me buy a DLC. I never bought any DLC online before that game, but when they came out with a story DLC for Mass Effect 2, obviously I had to get it. And I had a great time playing it. A little shorter than I like, but nevertheless, I had a great time with it. So, I saw it as the day was getting closer. I think it came out a little around 3 years, maybe a little bit less than 3 years, maybe a little bit more. But that was actually a really fast time for a game like that. So when I saw the gameplay for Mass Effect 3, I thought, okay, it was actually just a bit of a polish. Mass Effect 3 is a lot faster, but it's still the same shooter, cover to cover and all that stuff. They didn't add too much, and the graphics were, from what I remember, still essentially the same. So I thought, okay, it's just, you know, different settings, powers and everything. They didn't really have to remake the entire gameplay like they did with 1 and 2. So my worry died down for a little bit. And boy, I got it. It was one of those games that I actually stood in front of GameStop for like 4 or 5 hours, and I was waiting with other people, and we were hyped. We were excited. It was so fun just talking to people out there. It's like, oh, what is your favorite scene? Like, what kind of ending do you think we're gonna get? That time was just so much fun. So as soon as I got my hands on it, right, I finished the game that very night. It wasn't as long as I played it on hard too. It's not like I played it on easy. But I just wanted to get through the story and see what's going on. And I didn't, it's not like I just skimmed through it. As in, I actually did a lot of the side mission. But if you actually play Mass Effect 3, those side missions were just not very good. And it was just more or less like deliver this here to over there. And while there were some trinkets of brilliance here and there, from what I remember, overall I say Mass Effect 3 was quite a disappointment, at least for me. Do I think it's a bad game though? No. But I think it was quite disappointing because it was obviously rushed. Still encourage everyone to play this series because it's such a good series. But what Mass Effect 3 did, I'm not gonna tell you which ending that I got, but it was the red one, right? And at first when well, actually no, did I get the red one? No, I did not get my first gameplay. I did not get the red one. I got the green one because I thought, well, maybe like usually the last option is like the best ending. So at that time, what I didn't understand, I was so confused on what was going on that last mission that I was just like, all throughout my entire phase, it was more of a, okay, where are we going with this? Is this game almost over? And what are we gonna do? And again, without spoiling too much, guys, I was so... The feeling that I had when I finished that game, it was a mixture of confusion, frustration, and disappointment. I'm not trying to be negative here, but that's exactly how I felt about that game. And I went to sleep, even though I was tired as hell. I even had trouble thinking, like, what did I do? Did I do something wrong to get the bad ending? I didn't really understand it. So, after the day afterward, I actually went online and tried to ask people, what does this ending mean? Am I too stupid to understand it? Did I do something wrong? Did I do something what I was not supposed to do, or didn't do something that I was supposed to do? But no, a lot of people, you know, gave the same kind of frustration and feeling that I did. So we were just hoping for like, an extended ending, which they eventually did, and I was still not satisfied because I just didn't really understand where they were going with this. But now looking back, it was pretty obvious that they didn't want to end the franchise. They wanted to continue on playing. Because originally there was supposed to be a trilogy, right? So 1's 3, but they saw the amount of people loving this game. And so my guess is that EA decided to just, hey, you're not going to end this. You're going to have to keep working this and then add multiplayer to whatever, to the game as well as the next. And when I found that out, or rather realized, I was like, I get so pissed off just thinking about it right now. Tricky to embrace, agreed. When you try to pin it down, it kicks you in the face. Couldn't have said it any better, Speed. But that's just my feeling of that franchise. When I talk about it, Mass Effect, with other people, it starts off so positively with all these good memories. Yet at the same time, like when you were just about to get to 3, it's like such a sour spot. And it's not because you were just giving a pile of doo-doo, like dog crap, because I still don't think it's a bad game. I just think that it never reached its potential, and just because of executive decisions of trying to milk more money out of the fans, it just came off as a big disappointment for me. And the fact that, I mean, they had to add an extended cutscene to the end, right, really tells you something about, how people felt. Where's this goddamn stair? Seriously. I've been here for a while now. It's gotta be this one, or this one. Now, on to today's discussion, which is Mass Effect 4, of course. What do I think? Well, starting off, when I first saw the trailer, I think it was about 3 years ago, I wasn't exactly surprised, to be honest. Because by then, I'm already used to the fact that, hey, EA's struggling. The only games that they can pump out year after year that makes money was obviously, you know, Madden and FIFA. I don't play those games. Hey, Master Oogway, GOAT. Welcome to the stream, my man. First time chatter. I'm your host, Colin. Thanks for coming by and hearing me talk. I do this every single day at around 7 o'clock. And it's basically just a chillax stream of me sometimes play games with my viewers. Sometimes it's just me reminiscing about my childhood. Sometimes it's just about me discussing about certain games. So feel free to join the discussion. I'm talking about Mass Effect 4 today. So picking up where I left off, right? I wasn't exactly surprised that they made the announcement for Mass Effect 4. They're trying so hard to, you know, Master Oogway, by the way. Kung Fu Panda, are you a fan of The Chosen One? Good name, though, by the way. Much appreciate that name. I think I got that reference. Let me know if it means something else. Love chill streams. I'm glad. Anyway, you know, just sit back and relax and hear me talk. Every day, by the way, 7 o'clock. Central Time. My time. Let's see. Speed, you were saying, I'm saying this because if you have hope that the new entry Mass Effect will be better, I think you should lower your expectations. Yeah, my feeling on Mass Effect 4 was like, well, of course they're gonna continue on, right? But at the same time, I really do want it to be good, guys. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, that I really do love that franchise. I love those characters. Master Oogway? Yeah, see, I did get that reference. I've seen Kung Fu Panda, one of my favorite franchises, and, you know, let's see. I'm sorry if you guys never seen Kung Fu Panda, but Master Oogway has moved on to the another realm, but he will always be with us in his hearts. If you guys didn't know, by the way, guys, I speak Chinese. Oogway is literally, it basically, in Chinese, it literally means turtle. It literally is the word turtle in Chinese, Ugui. Just letting you know. Let's see. Speed, I'm not getting my hopes up. Yet at the same time, because of my love for that franchise, it's so good that it's like that toxic ex-girlfriend you might think about. Maybe I should take her back, right? Or boyfriend. Maybe I don't have a high expectations, but I'm having a high hope. That's what I'm trying to say. Because the one thing that might give me hope, some hope, is the fact that they haven't released anything on that game so far. I know it's a very sliver line of, like, maybe I'm hallucinating. Reminisce about the good times in the bear story. Well, Liara is in it, by the way. So that's one. I am happy to see Liara. Hey, welcome to the family, Master. Do you prefer it Ugui or Master? Either one's fine with me. Let me know how to address you, my man. Yeah, I mean, Speed, you called me out on it. It is true. Wouldn't you like it if a franchise you like really much, like being decimated, has a chance of coming back and being good? I'm sure you guys have your own type of franchises that have been ruined due to corporate greed, and maybe if they have some sort of hope of redeeming themselves, then we always want a good story, right? We always want a good ending. Ugui, let me know if you played Mass Effect before. We're just talking about it, and my expectations or very small amount of hope if Mass Effect 4 will be a good game. Again, back to where I was, my expectation is that the fact that they haven't released any other trailer other than the first teaser and the N7 day thing. And when I looked up on an article, they said don't expect anything on it until maybe like 2027 to 2028. So right now it's almost at the end of 2023, so it's about 3 years. So you're looking at maybe 4 to 5 years of development. And that's why I thought, well, if you're going to spend that much time on it, then maybe I have some hope for you. Maybe there's some hope for you. It's not Liara, it's a mimic. Mass Effect Andromeda took place millennia after Mass Effect. Really? So you wouldn't be seeing anyone like you like to do. They are written differently and will ask you to join their pyramid scheme. Speed, that is probably the worst thing that EA could probably do. Because if they actually do that, and I hope they don't, if they're dumb enough to do that, that franchise is pretty much dead to me. And of course, EA is pretty much dead, period, to me. I don't care what kind of game they make, right? It doesn't matter. But either way, I don't know. I want it to be good so bad. Maybe that's just me being naive. Maybe because I've seen how, No Man's Sky and, in a way, Cyberpunk kind of came around it. Maybe, just maybe. I'm hoping for a good ending. Pessimist, but at least I'm not almost never surprised when a new adaptation of a sequel for a franchise alike flops. I don't think you're a pessimist, Speed. I say you're more realistic. So yeah, I'm keeping my expectation in check. Right now, I really don't have any expectations from ME4. It's more of just, okay, you got my interest, but you don't have my attention. So, there's that. It's said though, it's interesting if you say Liara was a mimic in the trailer though. Hopefully it's good. Play the first one. Yo! Uguay, I gotta say, I urge you to play it because right now there's like the Mass Effect trilogy. I'm sure you can find it on sale or something for like maybe 20, 25 bucks or something. Actually, if you are here with me, I'll probably lend it to you. That's how much of a good of a franchise I love that. How much love I have for that franchise. And I can highly recommend the first one and the second one. It's mainly just about. Just think of it. It's a sci-fi setting, right? Kind of like Star Trek, more or less. And believe me, I'm the last guy that is interested in the sci-fi world. But it's really about the characters and how you interact with them, the dialogue options and stuff. So again, if you ever play if you play other story-driven games, I guess today, maybe like The Witcher 3 or I guess you can say Baldur's Gate, because I heard that was a story-driven game, even though I never played it. And you actually get to make like dialogue choices and forge your own ending, something like that. Go for it. I highly, highly recommend it. Try to buy it secondhand so you don't give EA money. That's all the only thing I would probably ask. You might even get it cheaper too. BioWare is on its last leg as a company after Anthem's Anthem, I forgot about that crap. Never touched that game, by the way. Won't see anything about Mass Effect 4 until 2025. Same thing with Dragon's Age, Dreadwolf, whichever game shows up. See, of all those games that you mentioned, they obviously has to go with Mass Effect, right? Because Mass Effect has the bigger fan base, in my opinion. That's just what I think. And also, I don't know if the franchise of Dragon Age ended on a sour note. Let me know if it did. But I know Andromeda was a freaking mess. I never even played that game. The only thing I knew was the amount of bugs and memes that it created. That was entertaining, though. Because the company will likely go bankrupt. Yeah, that's just how EA is, my man. They buy a company, put their bullshit in, and then, microtransactions and multiplayer. Sucks the soul out of the company. I even though I don't play games like Dead Space, because I'm too much of a coward to play horror games. Maybe we'll get to that later. I still remember how my friend, how horrified and upset when he told me that Visceral Game, the guys who made Dead Space, went kaput. He was so heartbroken because he loved that game, that franchise. And I was a big fan of SimCity. So when I got SimCity, because by the way, guys, EA owns SimCity. I don't remember which SimCity it was, but it was the one with like something called the Origin Engine, and you basically had to be online the entire time to play the goddamn game. As soon as I saw that, I said, I'm done with y'all, EA. No more. That was probably the end-all be-all for me. Funny things you heard about Endem was that a bug in the game made the loot drops better, and people enjoyed the game more and more and made it, and the developer patched it out, and all new players dropped it. Really? That's funny. So they couldn't, monetize it. That's why. Sounds like a Fallout. Sounds like something, what is this? Fallout 76 would have made. Never played a Bethesda game, though. But, you know me. I saw Internet Historian's video on the fall of 76. And boy, that was one of the funniest videos I've ever seen. But, again, here's hoping, you guys, that maybe... I wouldn't say EA's redeemed. It's maybe BioWare can maybe pull a miracle out of its rear end. Again, so what do I think it's going to be about? I think they'd be crazy to not go back to the old characters. That's just my take. Regarding the fact that Andromeda did so poorly, right? I don't think they want to have anything to do with it. I believe, from what I read or remember, Andromeda is set either in the future or in another galaxy, so it's not really even relevant. One more note, if you listen to this on stream, it's a parody song, so you wouldn't have copyright issues. Okay, sure, fire away. Send me the link, Speed. Take your time. By the way, guys, I love... Can't send it here? Oh, that's right. One sec, guys. Oh, I saw Sam, you waved to me. Sorry I didn't answer. One sec. Let's see. Metal Gear Rising Consciousness, All I Want for Christmas. Is that the one, Speed? Alright, let me open this up in the window. Here's to you, Speed. Let me know if the volume's good, guys. Let me know if you guys can hear it. Alright. I better start talking because I don't want to get copyrighted. Although it's a little bit loud for me on this side, so I'm going to take one of my headphones off. Hey Sam, welcome back. This song is dedicated, it's a dedication from Speed. Told me to put this on. Let me know if you guys can hear it or it's too loud or too... I think it should be okay. I tested this before. Alright, yes. Another level. It is festive. It is festive, Speed. I admit. Oh. Funny enough, oh, this is not part of the song. Crap. Can't play that. That's part of... I was like, wait, that sounds like Metal Gear Rising. It is. It did get me in a festive mood, though, with all the jingle bells and stuff. Anyways, yeah, we were just talking about... Sam, we were talking about Mass Effect 4 and with my expectations of it. Speed is trying to keep me realistic, you know, don't get my hopes up. And me being the guy that's trying to be a little bit more on the... Hopefully they... I don't know. I'm just really... It's one of my favorite franchises, and I'm just really, really hoping that they redeem themselves. Though, Speed is probably right on that. And it's official, guys. I got on the scale today, 5 pounds down. So, about 25 more pounds to go for me. This new diet works wonders. If you don't have dinner, by the way, or rather if you want to eat something before 6 o'clock, you know, you can easily lose some weight. And then of course you got to do some light exercises here and there. And then once I get back, my body gets back into a little bit better shape, then I'll be able to go back to the gym. Sam, let me know if... Yeah, thanks, Thanks, Oogway. If you didn't know, by the way, Oogway, I'm actually currently on a diet. I'm about 30 pounds overweight, and now I'm about 25 pounds. So all it is that very, very little carbs, very, very little sugar. If I do get sugar craze, it's basically just some fruits. Green smoothies in the beginning. Is master Sifu just master because Sifu means teacher, master? Shifu is basically in Chinese means master. You are correct. Where if you call someone a in Japanese, of course, if you're meaning, there's two ways. There's senpai, which is upperclassman, and then there's shisho. Shisho basically means master. So Master Wugui, master is obviously English. Wugui just basically means turtle. That's all. You actually spelled it right, Speed. It's not Sifu, it's Shifu. It's S-H-I-F-U, not S-I-F-U. And yes, I do speak Mandarin Chinese, although on a very basic level. Let's get 5 more levels on the mine, see how far we can go. Anyways, Sam, glad you're back because we have a new chatter today. Master Wugui, the GOAT. He just came in today to say hi and says that he likes to enjoys chill streams. So, shoutouts to him. These guys have been Sam and Speed has been with me for a while now. I've only been streaming for a little bit over a month. Near the end of October is when I started streaming, and a face reveal like this at the start of this month, so December. So the fact that I actually have people come in and talking to me and hearing what I have to say, it's a huge blessing. Again, thank you all of you guys for coming in tonight. Just hopefully my chat is interesting enough to keep you guys entertained, and of course, whenever you guys need someone to hear you out, have a little bit of chat, come into my stream every day, Saturday. If there's anything you guys want me to talk about, as long as it's not too politics, religion, those stuff, we're good. You grew up with Journey in the West. Oh, really? Are you really? Were you one of those? Here, let me post something up. Let me pull something on Speed. Did you grow up like with these? Because I remember these guys. Man, come on, not now. There we go. Journey. So if you guys didn't know, Sam and Wugui, this here. I grew up with these guys. These are what we originally like, the old classic Chinese drama. This is Sun Wukong. And of course, if you know Goku and all those guys, this is the guy he was based on, okay? This is a tale as old as time for Chinese folktale, okay? This is like Peter Pan for you guys, something like that. The OG, yeah. So you know them. If you... I mean, this is what it originally looked like, okay? So, Speed, when you are one of the OGs, I still remember watching this when I was like 5 or 6 with my parents. It's as cheesy as it can get, guys, but there's just some sort of, yeah, those guys. Damn, it's really goofy if you look at it. I mean, the costume is obviously out of date. I mean, look at this guy. So this is the priest. This is Sun Wukong. I forgot what these guys' names are, but this is his name is Zhu Bajie, which is the pig guy, and then here's the 4th guy, and they're basically on a quest to take him to, as the name suggests, journey to the west to fulfill some kind of pilgrimage or to do something. And along the way, they meet all sorts of evil forces and whatever. So this is as classic as it gets. It's not like the ones that where you see today, though. Like, let's see, like these. Like these are a little bit more modern. Okay, you can obviously see the big difference in costume designs. Where this one, I guess, is, I mean, it's still cheesy, but I guess it's a little bit better than that. But yeah, it was constantly running on TV every single day. Because again, back in China, where I'm from, wasn't too much interesting things to watch other than, you know, propaganda. It's either this kind of show or some sort of... No, it wasn't 1,000 episode, actually. It's not like Detective Conan, those animes, those stuff. It actually had like, I believe like around 20 or 30 episodes. So it's like one of those here, Ugo, it's like one of those whatchamacallit, like a Power Ranger episode, right? Here's the villain of the week. And then occasionally you'll get like a very strong villain that'll last like 2 episodes or 3 episodes. And of course the final showdown, I actually don't remember what the ending was like though, but I believe they met their journey. Feel free to correct me, Speed. But it was a quite an interesting show though. And if you actually understand Chinese, it's just their way of talking is very like theatrical. I'm talking about like kabuki style. If you guys are not from like, what are some examples? Like if you ever see like those shows in high school, it's kind of like a theater play. Oh, like Broadway, like those theater play. You obviously have people in costume, but it's not, and those dialogues are a little bit on the super Shakespearean, a little bit overly dramatic kind of thing. I enjoyed it back then. And I always been a fan of Sun Wukong. If you didn't know, the story though is that he's basically a monkey that basically defied the heavens, and he gained a lot of power. He was basically running amok, right? And so what happened is Buddha was the only... He basically challenged every single deity until I believe he ran into Buddha. And he basically made a bet with him saying that if you can jump out of my palm... Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Speed. Basically, if you can jump out of my palm, and then you can, I'll let you do whatever you want. And it's one of those goofy powers that Sun Wukong has. He can do a flip, and he can go like 50,000 kilometers. I don't know the exact number, but it's kind of like that. The story is about the journey of the Buddhist to get scripture from the heaven. He met allies and they protect him from demons along the way. In the end, they managed to reach it and become enlightened. Yeah, so very these Buddhist philosophies, right? And so Sun Wukong obviously was a little twat, and he became so powerful that people actually had to beg the Buddha to help him out. And so when he made that bet with the Buddha, he couldn't jump out his hand. What happens was that he basically slammed Sun Wukong down onto the ground, and basically it was basically his prison. He was basically supposed to live the rest of his life underneath that palm, underneath a mountain. I mean, he's got eternal youth or something like that, some crap like that. And then, of course, when the priest met him, they made a deal. So it's kind of like an arc of redemption kind of thing. And I actually remember one of the episodes that made me cry. I'm sure Speed knows this episode. It was a 2-parter. I mean, I'm not gonna cry about it now, but it was one of those... it was one of those episodes where like a shapeshifter demon turned him into a demon, and obviously Sun Wukong saw through it, tried to attack her. Priest defends her, and then they couldn't get understanding, and then it's like, fine, I was just trying to protect you. No, you weren't. You're trying to attack this lady. You're back to your old ways. Fine. You know, it's one of those very, very cheesy episodes of like, well, I was trying to do my job. No, I don't believe you. Go away. And then they meet up in the end. That's it. 2 episodes. But for some reason, I remember that episode made me cry. It's like, oh, you're all family. You should be in this together, you know? Where's this guy going? There you go. Oh, and because again, guys, it was shown in, you know, in China, obviously we didn't have too much thing going on with other religions like Christianity and other stuff. It was mainly Buddhism, but overall in China, we weren't very religious. Buddhism was more just more or less about being a good person. It wasn't. It wasn't. It was like a way of. It wasn't like a quote unquote real religion, at least to the back from what I remember. It is a real religion, but people from back then, from what I remember, didn't really treat it as such. We treat it as almost like wishing us good luck, kind of bit. We go to the temple, we pray to Buddha, toss in a coin. I wish to get wealthy. I wish to pass my test. That was pretty much it. Wukong is a lovable jerk. He's a powerful character that can back it up in fights, but he is conceited. So one of the arc in the story was he wreaked havoc in heaven. Yeah, he went to the heaven, like wreaked havoc, and then ate some kind of pear, and then made him super powerful. That was one of the earlier episodes, guys. So you can imagine my shock when I saw like the new game of, that new Wukong game that's coming out. That was a doozy because I've never seen Sun Wukong like that. Being super realistic and edgy. So that was quite a treat. The best way is, I guess you can say, almost like seeing Goku from Dragon Ball Z and you saw him in Dragon Ball Evolution. It's just like, what is this? What the hell? Although, it's not to say they didn't get it. I mean, Dragon Ball Evolution should be banned for how bad that thing was. Not saying like it's just like a very different art style. I will not bother you. Wukong fought the edge resort, take a break, satisfied. He escaped to Buddha, took a piss on the mountain. Turns out he was still on the palm of the Buddha. Yep, that was what I was talking about. He was like, can you fly out of the Buddha's hand? And then Buddha bodied him and trapped him until the monk comes along and release him. That's correct. So my memory is still there about this. By the way, Oogway, I mean, let me know if you want me to call you Oogway or Master. I say Master might sound a little bit better because, well, it's Master, but also, like, it rolls off the tongue a little bit easier for me. It's like, because Oogway is, I speak native Chinese, Mandarin, so going from like English all of a sudden to a Chinese word is kind of like, Let me know how you think it is. I like how this discussion went from Mass Effect 4 potential big giant disappointment to basically whatever's easy. Alright, as you wish, Master. I like how this discussion went from Mass Effect 4 to discussing like a folktale from my childhood. So funny how things work out that way. As long as it's interesting to you guys, it's fine. Oh, it's not just discussion, right, guys? One of these days, since I'm actually good with childhood comrade, you got it, Speed. One of these days, I might do like a food or snack review. If you didn't know, Master, I actually own my own restaurant. Well, since last month, it closed, unfortunately. Show sounds interesting, fun, ill, goofy. It's very, very Shakespearean. If you don't understand Chinese folktale, and you don't understand the culture of it, you might not be all that entertained. I'm telling you right now. It's like getting someone from China and watching like a Dave Chappelle show. We really don't understand the humor. And this goes back to another thing I have to tell you. When I first got to the US, right, I thought people were actually somewhat mean to me in the beginning. But it turns out they were just humoring me with something called sarcasm. Maybe we have it in China, but maybe because I just didn't understand sarcasm when I was little. But that's how I felt when people were giving me sarcasm. I thought people were being mean to me. It goes back to the fact that if you go see a lot of these ancient Chinese folktale shows, not the ones that are seen today, like those Korean shows, it's kind of hard to wrap your head around why is this entertaining. I mean, sometimes even I have trouble watching some of these shows. Hey, Zach, we got a fourth chatter today. Zach, welcome to the stream, my man. My name is Colin, and every night at 7 o'clock Central US, I do a Just Chatting stream Sometimes I maybe play little games and we just talk about random stuff. This conversation originally started out with me discussing Mass Effect 4, if you know that series, to all of a sudden now we're talking about some ancient Chinese folktale play that's from my childhood. So feel free to join the discussion or lurk, my buddy. An underwater prince becomes a dragon, becomes a horse, and then turns into a lady. Water into the story. Yeah, I'm just telling you now, guys, or master. It's that I'm not saying that you shouldn't watch it. I'm just saying that you might not get it. You're gonna be like scratching your head, like why is this like this? Why is it shown like that? Very hard to do, right? Again, if I take you guys to Japan and we watch a kabuki theater, like people cover themselves in these white makeups and these hyper, I wouldn't say realistic, like over the top costumes, and then like do these poses like a Power Ranger with some basic instruments on the background. I don't get those things. So if you guys watch these kind of shows, you might not get them either unless you really, really are into the culture. It's not something that you can just put on Netflix and start enjoying the episode. One of those things that has a long story, a history like JoJo. Everything's layered in. Exactly. If you know, you know. It's correct. Yeah. Oh, as I was saying, guys, not every day, obviously, I'm gonna discuss things, but since I originally own my own restaurant, I am at least somewhat competent in cooking. I actually taught Sam how to cook Sunny Day Up, and he said he really, really enjoyed the way that I explained it to him. So that was really good. Oh, Zach, you actually got into Mass Effect this year. It's mad fun. I like the third one best. I didn't hate the drama, it was just boring. Yo, we can go on about that. You hear that, Master? Or Ugue, I should say, or Master? This guy has just got into Mass Effect. Zach just got into Mass Effect, and again, I'm sure we can all highly recommend you that play. I didn't hate the third one. I was just more or less disappointed with how it turned out, because Zach, I was discussing earlier, is that the time frame from Mass Effect 2 to Mass Effect 3 was too short. It was like 2.5, maybe 3 years tops. And that was the one thing that got me really, really worried. And of course, they had to squeeze in a goddamn multiplayer in there. You guys have the Legendary Edition, you don't have that to worry about. But they were pushing hard on the multiplayer part for Mass Effect 3. And of course, you didn't hate Andromeda. I don't blame you, my man. I didn't think it was very good because of all the memes and stuff. You sound like a parent lecturing their kid. My bad. I'm not trying to lecture anyone, guys. I'm just here to be, a nice little entertaining voice. And if you guys, those eggs. Oh, if you're talking about, like, cooking, then maybe sometimes I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. That's true. Mass Effect 3 made me sad, but not because the ending was sad, but because it was disappointing. That's all I have to say about that, Zach. Again, Master Uguay, I mean, if you have oh, Sam, no worries. Yeah, basically just telling Sam that damn, I really need to read a little bit closer because I actually got Speed and Sam a little bit mixed up because you guys are all typing from Twitch and you both have the same kind of color, so it kind of messed me up a little bit. Yep. But anyways, yeah, as you can say, Sam, I taught him how to do the cooking the Sunny Day Up egg thing. So if I was thinking like one of these days I might maybe do like a food review. I really, really wanted to do a Mr. Beast bar review because I am actually a fan of Lind's chocolate. And I know Mr. Beast really criticized Lind's chocolate. If you guys didn't know, Lind basically is Swiss. And in my opinion, it blows almost every single chocolate company out of the water. The super silkiness of it, it's just heaven. But they're very expensive though, because it's Lind. Anyway, Zach, I hope at least you enjoyed Mass Effect 3 and Andromeda. You thought it was free, right? And this actually were so good. I I'll take Lindt over almost every single chocolate. And I've had Hershey's. I don't if here's one of the things I'll tell you about chocolate guys is when you get a chocolate bar, whatever it is, right? The one thing you want to look at is the back. And I want you guys to not just look, it's not the calories or sugar or whatever. It's the ingredients. The one thing that you must look for when it comes to a chocolate are two words: cocoa butter. The cocoa butter is what gives chocolate that silky smoothness that when you put it in your mouth, you don't need to chew it or bite into it. It just melts. That's the key. And you want that cocoa butter to be at least on the first or second ingredients, because if it's on the ingredients list, right? Usually the first, second, or third ingredients are usually the primary, are always going to be the primary ingredients. So if cocoa butter is like on the fourth or fifth, they're not using that much. So that's the one thing that I will give you guys a little bit of tips on. Last thing to say about Mass Effect is my favorite quote from franchise is my favorite quote from any franchise's stand. You're a big JoJo fan, of course. Yeah, hold on, guys. I need to read. Let me get Discord out of the way so I can actually read your chat. Zach, you get that? The ending was odd with that little kid. And you were 12 when the Mass Effect 3 came out, and you remember that they advertised the game at E3 and legit thought it was online. It was an online game. Yeah, that's how EA ruined things. I mean, they even put multiplayer. Now that I remember it, they put multiplayer in Dead Space. That was just weird to me. Oh right, Javik, the Prothean guy. Of course. Damn, it's been a long time. It used to be a man. Really? Wow. Well, Zach would probably get it because I never played Andromeda. It was such a mess that it was. I remember watching Donkey, right? Donkey's review, and his video was so funny, and the amount of bugs and ridiculous dialogue he had in that game just made me put my head down. I was like in disappointment. I was like, yeah, this. I knew this was going to be, and it was even worse than I thought. You play the Legendary for the first time, like everyone else, man. I mean, it's remastered for a good reason. By the way, Zach, in terms of gameplay, I actually preferred Mass Effect 1's gameplay, believe it or not. I know it's got its issues, but the RPG and shooting element was so interesting. The customization and everything, it was more interesting to me than a casual cover to cover shooter with the occasional powers and stuff. But that doesn't mean it was bad, of course. Even the LGBTQ people think it was dumb. I still remember like what something wrong. It was like Alec is dead, and it was like a weird ass face that looks like made out of dough play. That's what I remember. Yeah, Zach. I mean, we were just talking about Mass Effect 4. I was really, I am actually here hoping that it would actually be a redemption thing. Yeah, face was a little tired. That was the line. That was the line. You got it. My face is tired. I was like, who says that? So I was just trying to be a little bit more hopeful because back when I said that between Mass Effect 2 development, because I got in it when Mass Effect 2 came out, the timeline of development between 2 and 3 was just like 2.5 to 3 years. and half of that development was like probably spent on multiplayer. So when I saw the article today that as of right now it's been 3 years, maybe four or something, since the Mass Effect 4 teaser, we still haven't heard anything other than the first teaser and the N7 days, right? Trailer, whatever. They haven't shown anything. But the fact is that I think the article says don't expect anything until like 2027 or 28. That's what that's the very thing that gave me a little bit of hope for them. I was like, okay, maybe they will take this seriously. Maybe if they're spending that much time on the story, then maybe, just maybe, it'll become somewhat good. The fact that they used Liara, right? It was, it was to be expected. She is pretty much the face, other than Shepard and Garrus. If you like customization, Andromeda is more bare bones since it focuses on streamlining the game for new players. If you like gunplay, great. Otherwise, steer clear. I still haven't touched Andromeda. I don't think I ever will. I mean, Zach, you played it, and you even said that you didn't hate it, but you said it was boring, right? So, but yeah, if this isn't enough, if there isn't, if you still haven't convinced yourself, we haven't convinced you, Master Oogway, do yourself a favor and go play the legendary edition. I'm sure Zach even said he enjoyed the hell out of it, right? By the way, ignore the gameplay for Stardew. This is just me dicking around. Mass Effect 1 gameplay is amazing. Felt like the captain of a new crew because you had to strategize way more within your crew. That is correct. I really, really wish they focused a little bit more on the teamwork because sometimes you just felt like a one-man army, right? You really just use your teammates as sort of like an extra power. But I really, really wish they focused a little bit more on that. Like a chess game. Game Pass for a couple months, which has Mass Effect game. Might have to give it a go in a day or two. Trust me, I think the first hour should be able to suck you in. Just take your time with it and actually listen to the dialogue because Mass Effect 1 actually does a very, very good job at explaining not just the characters, but like the world of Mass Effect. Because obviously, again, this is not a spoiler, right? It's a bunch of humans interacting with other civilizations, other aliens, and we're all trying to get along. A lot of politics, and a lot of drama. And the world was so fascinating to me when in Mass Effect 1, I was like, oh my god, this is why they use this. This is the culture of this race. And I guess some people say it's almost kind of like Star Trek. Never watched Star Trek, by the way. But I found it so fascinating. And when you get to 2, they pivoted to a little bit towards more characters and why some character has certain illnesses, why certain character needs some kind of equipment. And it's just so fascinating. You get, but it's not like a whole bunch of information blasted you at once. You can talk to as much or as little as you want, but it's so interesting to read. So go with what you will. Go for it. Please do it. Play it. A lot of patience. Yep. And again, there's the meme. I am Commander Shepard. This is my favorite Twitch stream on this. Oh, that's sweet. Thanks, Speed. And then the bunch of memes. I know they might be a little bit outdated right now because, Mass Effect is not as talked about as before. But the amount of memes back then, it was great. Tali's mask. I almost forgot all of them. But it brings me back so much memories. Yet Speed kept me being realistic on, like, don't get your hopes up on Mass Effect 4. So, hey, Zach, do you have any... since you played all 3 and Andromeda, what is your take on it? On ME4. Just curious. Are you looking forward to it? Do you think it's going to be a disappointment? I'm on Rex, Shepard, Rex. Yep. All those memes are just coming back to me. Oh, one of my favorite lines that just came up was Shepard, right? Which is a renegade option. That was probably one of the best things they've added to the franchise after when it comes to ME2. It was the renegade and paragon option. Although sometimes it can be a little bit too restricting because I rather have Shepard as a good guy, but he's also a dick to people. So one of my favorite lines from him in Mass Effect 2 was basically he was going onto the ship, and basically the crew says, "You guys are coming in, but you need to relinquish your guns." And my favorite dialogue option, of course, I picked the asshole. I was like, and Shepard basically just said, "How about I relinquish one bullet? Where do you want it?" And I thought that was so badass. That was so badass. That was such a good line. And of course, there's all this another YouTuber who made Mass Effect. He says he plays it in the worst way possible, and basically trying to make Shepard like the ultimate bad guy, and whatever. And in the end, he destroyed everything. It was kind of funny, really, really funny. Can't give. Don't remember his name though. God damn, you guys should check it out though. So good on you, Master Uguay, or Master. I mean, if you want to take our advice and play Mass Effect, again, all of us here highly recommend it. And the fact that you have Game Pass, you really have nothing to lose, buddy. Just give it an hour, I promise you. You'll be hooked within the first hour. I'm one of those people that if a book or movie or whatever is not clicking with me within like the first hour or so, then rarely do I stay for whatever is left. With Mass Effect 4, you actually have high hopes because since Andromeda was a failure, with fans, critics, I feel like BioWare understand what fans want. That's why they are bringing back Liara. There you go. So you're not the only one, right? Again, I'm hoping for the best as well. But like I said, Zach, speed was actually keeping me realistic because one, obviously, it's EA. Come on, EA. When was the last good thing they've done? Unless you're a shareholder, then as a gamer, you'll be sorely disappointed, right? Two, and I can't be evil in video games. I'm already a dick in real life. Seeing a clip when Shepard told Garrus to shut up breaks my heart. Yo, I remember that. Because sometimes the Renegade... Here's the thing, the problem I had with the Renegade and Paragon option, right? The Renegade option is that there's a point where you can either... Because I thought Renegade is supposed to be like being a kind of an asshole. But some of the Renegade options are just downright evil. That's not being... There's being an asshole and being completely evil. And I won't spoil anything for you, Master. So you'll just have to see it for yourself. And Sam, if you're listening or if you've ever played that franchise, you know, again, we highly recommend it. As for Zach, though, thanks for watching. I mean, I'm glad I'm not the only one who is like the only one who's having hope for it. Again, I think you and I are the same in the part where we are really, really hoping. I don't think that BioWare is dumb. I mean, obviously they know what we want. It's just that can they deliver, because they're not the ones that are really making the decisions, right? It's EA. Half the time that way they were developing Mass Effect 3, they were spending all that time developing that multiplayer game for EA. Yep, no problem, Sam. Hopefully, you know, let me know if let's see if the stream is still good for you, because you're telling me because you did say that you always get lags from where you are, right? Oh, and Master Uguay and Zach, this is usually how my stream goes. I pick a particular topic sometimes, and then it diverges into something else. So start out with Mass Effect, went on to some Chinese folktale, and then to chocolate. So this is basically what my stream's about, is just having friends to talk to, having someone to listen to every single night, and just have a very chill, relaxed time. Maybe I can get a bit too antsy when it comes to some of these stuff, but whatever you guys want me to discuss, maybe a chocolate review, maybe a challenge, I'm all ears. This is what I like about streaming so far, and it's just the ability to hang out with you guys, and the fact that, again, people are here just listening to me chat and having a good time. It's a feeling I haven't had in a long time. So again, thanks again, you guys. Speed? No. I hate EA as much as the next side, but do not put the blame at all on EA. Really? Well, remember the Casey Hudson, the guy, the main director, trying to justify that ending, right? I don't know if he's still there though, because that ending, he said that. Oh yeah, guys. By the way, Mass Effect 3's ending. I remember the story now. He said some of the developers, I don't know if it's confirmed to be true or not, but when they came to the ending, they said something about they put all the other writers out and only had like a few of the main writers in a room to discuss it and write it. Because if that's the case, that's a real scum move right there. Battle Pass. If it does, I'm not buying it. And again, even if they put out a really good trailer, right? It's hype as hell. Even right now, I would not pre-order it just purely based on principle. Because it's EA, we have to be careful. We have to be careful. Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for the encouragement, Zach. Andromeda is worked on by another BioWare team who have very complex OG writers and developers, so they refused to help when it was offered. If the game isn't optimized with a bad dialogue, I think they were also working with a new engine at the time, right? I think we were trying to do with something called the Frost engine, if I remember correctly. It's the Battlefield engine that was not very well received. I mean, look at Battlefield 2047. I mean, that trailer was hype. Even I thought about buying it. And then I realized, oh wait, that's right, it's EA. And then look how that turned out. So glad I didn't buy that game. And Zach, yeah, being myself, I can only be myself. I'm not a very good actor. There's a reason I'm not in Hollywood. But yeah, if you like my content, feel free to join my stream anytime. I'm here every single night, Central Time US, at 7 o'clock p.m. Sometimes I just chat just like this, and sometimes I just play some games. I mean, yesterday was me trying to learn how to play Fortnite, and then get Discord working. And then before that, it was me playing Yakuza. So even if you're not able to join me every day, I mean, just know that I'll be here every night. If you want to have someone to listen to or talk to, you know, that's all. Oh, EA did not come out with Dead Space remake and Star Wars this year, so hopefully they can give Mass Effect the right treatment. Oh, that's right. I forgot about yeah, I did say. I mean, you sure? I mean, don't EA still own Dead Space, the franchise? Are you sure they were not involved? That's surprising. Same engine was used on Dragon Age Inquisition, boom, Game of the Year, and most players except hardcore fans. It isn't the engine's fault, but it's new developers' incompetence. I see. Well, you know, I'll listen to you, Speed. Until we get a trailer or at least some news, because right now it's just a teaser of Liara. Other than that, we'll see what's going on later. Yeah, Zach, you're one of the smarter people who did not buy. Oh, there we go, bottom. Oh yeah. There we go. Now we can go to the Skull Key. Oh wait, I gotta befriend Ham first. Oh well, we got to the bottom, guys. Awesome. Yeah, Zach, we gotta be careful right now because too many of these times pre-orders, I think they're giving a lot of developers a sense of false security. I mean, hell, a couple days ago we were arguing about the day before, that game, that the Maps game that just came out and flopped hard. I, as a guy, did not know anything about that game because I thought it was like, oh, The Last of Us. Did Naughty Dog come out with a new multiplayer? And then I saw Dr. Disrespect playing it. And, I mean, he really tried. Even I felt bored. I just saw him literally running around empty space building. The animated movie? No, I have not. I mean, I did say I'm a fan of the Mass Effect franchise because I played all 3 games and I got a poster. I don't have it anymore because I moved, but I haven't like read all the comics or the movie yet, though. I think even right now, I'm afraid to go back and see some of these things because, well, it's still a little too painful for me. I was discussing Mass Effect 4 in the beginning, right? And then reminiscing about 1 and 2 brought back some really nice memories. And then 3, even though it's had its moments, I mean, the staying was there. It was too obvious. And it just got a little bit sad. So, Anthem is forced to be live service multiplayer by EA. The developers stalled and didn't work on the game at all for years until EA forced BioWare to get their shit together. The work crunch and short development time is all the new developers' fault, and I feel no sympathy. Hey, man. No, I can't blame you feeling that way, Speed. I don't think anyone can. That's why I said the only hope I have for ME4 is the fact that they haven't shown anything. And the fact that they said don't expect anything in my release like 2027 to 28. So, yeah, basically some comics. Yeah, from what I've read. I mean, you don't have to worry about... I mean, spoilers alert, guys. It was... I mean, Zach, you played Mass Effect, right? Oh, of course you did. What happened to Shepard, after the first tutorial mission in Mass Effect 2, right? The comic focuses on how they recovered so-and-so. That was one thing. It was actually because of Liara getting in touch with some organization. And I'll just leave it at that. So Liara was was the one who delivered so-and-so to so-and-so. And the comics focused on that. Thus why she was a little bit... Yep, correct, Speed. Thus why she was a little bit, like, kind of a bit antsy when you meet her in Mass Effect 2. And if you romanced her in the first game, and then you romance someone else, then she has kind of every right to be a little bit antsy at you. By the way, people who actually does watch this stream, I hope they just put it on the background, because watching me play Stardew is like, what the hell is this guy doing? This guy is just randomly going around collecting truffles and stuff. Yeah, cool comic idea. There we go. Critical strikes. I always prefer the fighter one. You're not always going to get critical strikes. Yeah. But yeah, the comics were pretty cool, though. Let's see. I still have some of, like, the main soundtracks on. I'm sure... Oh, I want to ask you, Zach. When you play Mass Effect 2... When you play Mass Effect 2 Suicide Mission, that final mission, that theme, Suicide Mission, the name of that song, I'm pretty sure you, me, just like everyone else, was so hyped and so pumped. Like, oh my god, I wish we got to get through this together. That song was so good. It's still part of my workout routine. If I ever thought about it, I was like, one more rep, or just hang on a little bit more. When I do a marathon, I was like, that song kicking in with the drums and stuff, it was so hype. Hey, welcome to the family, Zach. Thanks for subscribing. What system are you playing on, or PC? If you're talking about Stardew, it's actually on the Switch. If you didn't know this, I'm playing on a PS4 controller because I have an adapter because I didn't want to go get myself another controller. If you're talking about Mass Effect, I first bought that game on PC and I couldn't even play it because I didn't understand basic computer knowledge of RAMs and graphics cards back then. So then afterwards, obviously, I played Mass Effect 2 on 360. For you guys didn't know, Mass Effect was originally an Xbox exclusive. That's right, Xbox exclusive. Other than Halo. And although I'm not a Halo fan, I never played. I mean, I played Halo, but I wasn't never the biggest fan because all that lasers and flaring was like making my eyes hurt. But when I saw Mass Effect 2, I was like, I saw just the trailer of the classes, and then I saw IGN's review of the game, and with that Suicide Mission soundtrack, I was like, hype! I need to buy this game. I need to buy this game right now. Yeah, that was one of my favorite moments. That Suicide Mission gave you goosebumps. Listen to the song Rapture. It's so amazing. Of how it ended, depending on your choices. You're just like, I need to, like, I hope I make the wrong choices. And then with that Valve mission with Tali in it or whoever you send in there or whatever. Oh my god, it was so hype. I still get goosebumps from that mission. Because that, to me, is like one of those... It sticks out to in my memory as one of the most amazing, thrilling experience in a video game that I've ever had. I'm sure it's for almost everyone else. It's one of those games I can watch people stream, and I can go back on YouTube and watch VODs. One of the few games that I go back and watch, just seeing just how people were like this. Oh my god, oh my god. Whether it's a guy or a girl, hype, top tier. God tier hype right there. So I'm glad you. So again, Master, if you're still there, we can't recommend the series, or at least the OG series, more than enough for you, my buddy. Please play it and let us know how it is. Oh, hey, Sam, I think you're still here. You've been sending me some messages on Discord, but sorry I haven't answered because I got to look at the gameplay, the 2 chats, and then Discord. Sorry about that. So no going back. Hey, you better not going back. Come back next time. I mean, put some hours into it. And, of course, we're not going to try and spoil too much for you, but trust me, I'm sure this is what's going to happen. You're going to come back into my stream, and you're going to say how awesome it's been. And then you're going to be gone for a couple of days because... Speed, let's not do that. Okay? Let's not do that. You're going to be gone for a couple of days because you'll be so invested in that universe that... Oh! No. Well, Speed did cite his source. So, there you go. Speed did cite his source. I don't want to say too much right now because you haven't played it. That's how much I don't want to spoil it for you, you know? But just remember, if you were hearing the last couple of minutes, right? Mass Effect 2, the final mission, God tier hype, God tier soundtrack, God tier gameplay. Just remember to remember, it's going to be one of your finest, most memorable memories because you'll be so engaged, so thrilled about that last part that unfortunately you probably won't have that feeling again for a very long time. So there's that. Alright guys, I'm going to be calling it quits right now because I've been streaming for an hour 40 and I had a lot of fun doing this stream. Usually guys, I stream for just an hour, just chatting, but you guys, every day now, every day I've been talking to you guys. You guys have been keeping me staying for so long. I actually have to go work out a little bit to lose more weight. But man, guys, Speeds, Sam, Master Uguay, and of course you, Zach. Welcome to the family. I hope you guys can join me again. And tomorrow we can discuss something else, or maybe we can watch something else. Whatever it is you guys want. Any feedback would be appreciated. I'm a new streamer, of course. But, a food would be fun as hell. Okay. I will do that then. Again, see you guys later. Thank you so much. You guys have a good Sunday, and I will see you guys tomorrow, guys. Love y'all.